Hello, good evening. Welcome to Talk Tuesday. Well, we're talking about lockdown and meltdowns, and we're going to end tonight with a meditation. So I really want to. Hold on. Tuesday. Wait a minute, I'm duplicating myself. Wait a minute. Right, that's better. Right, so lockdown, meltdown, and we're going to I wanted to really go through, and I was encouraging people to come on today to share how this lockdown and this pandemic, if you like, though I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it, but just how it's affected you or how it has affected people that you know. And I was just encouraging people to come on to really just share their stories or information. It's just that we all know them, that we're not alone and we're going through similar things. The mental health I know has affected quite a lot of people at varying stages. That I know during this last year, and we are looking really at a year. So I think it would be nice to try and highlight some of those, because sometimes we're not always aware that actually we're stressed. We've got some mental illness in some sort of a way, and I don't mean that to the extreme, but that we are suffering with our mental emotions, if you like. Maybe I want to give you some ideas of how to recognize them. Maybe look at some ways to deal with them, both in the workplace, outside of the workplace, or if you're working from home. But just, ideas of what you can put into your life for coping mechanisms that would help you. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about how mindfulness and meditation can help put that in the mix for you. And then we're going to end on a meditation, which we'll all enjoy. So welcome on board. Good evening, Diana. Good evening, Claire. Good evening, Alex. Evening, Billy. Thank you for all coming on board. For those that aren't even saying anything at the moment, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to try and keep an eye on my phone as well so that I can see who's sending messages through there. But please, the guys that are on there now, just tell me, what have you experienced during this, lockdown? Because remember, when something changes in our environment, so this year has been an unprecedented year. So obviously we've had the lockdown since March, April, and then we've had another lockdown now. So that's our environment. Then our thoughts get affected, our moods change, our behaviors change, and then we often get a physical reaction to that. So have you noticed any of these? Have you noticed during this your thoughts have changed? They're maybe a little bit more negative, or they're kind of send you down in a downward spiral. You get involved with the story and the negativity of where you are. Hi, Sam. Hi, Alex. Let me know how you feel, or somebody else. My hair. I've got all my curls in today. So anyway, I digress. So, share with me, the Health Foundation state on their webpage as of today that all mental disorders account for a quarter of all bodily illnesses. And during this period, that has widely increased. So how's your mental health being affected? And I put some things down here. So I'm saying here, so some of the things that you may or may not notice. You may notice yourself or people around you got a little bit more ratty. You may notice that you'll get you're getting involved in the story, as I call it. You're going round and around and around with the same thoughts, and those thoughts get more negative and more angry, and you're self-sabotaging, things like that. And remember that we may not see it, or like other people around you may not see it, but you might see it in them. So what changes have you seen? So Claire says big changes in energy shifts. Diets, loads of energy, no pain, exercise every day. So Claire's is more positive for her. She's actually embraced this, got involved in this, and it's changed, definitely. But I think, you're right, Diana, having a positive vibration is so important. But not everybody can get that positive vibration. Not everybody can raise themselves. Sometimes it's hard, especially if they're on their own. But some of the things that have come to my attention that's affected people during obviously this lockdown is fear of catching this pandemic, this COVID-19 or whatever it is, fear. And fear is born out of fear. So, you walk down the shop, you walk 20 miles around somebody. Loneliness, because we can't get out and see people. This affects us. Even though people say, how are you? You say, I'm all right. I phoned a friend, and I've been phoning a friend for the last 6 months more. But every time I've said, how are you? And he has said, I'm fine. And then on last week, finally he said, do you know when you keep saying to me, how am I? And I said, yes. He said, well, I'm not all right. And then he let it all out. So, this has been affecting him. So it's male, female, old, young, even children to a certain extent, yeah, isolating from friends, depressed and overwhelmed, absolutely huge. Of course, you can't get to be with friends. You can't be with them in the same way. And even, we talk to our friends now in this lockdown and they can't go out. Some may have gone to work. Some may not have gone to work, but then what are we talking about? You almost feel like, have I got anything to offer sometimes? Or we're talking about the TV or we talk about the weather again, but we want real meaningful conversations. And ultimately, we are tactile people. So we want to hold each other. We want to hug each other. We want to be in each other's company. For sure, that's what we want to do. Alex is suffering from GAD, and he's coped better than many people I know. I've already learned the coping strategies, and this is important. So Alex brings a valid point. We need coping strategies. And what I've put down here is often when we get into that downward spiral, we forget our coping strategies. We just get carried away in that story. Some of the other things, mood, anxiety, physical reactions change. We become overwhelmed, as somebody's already mentioned on here. We become insecure. We get depressed. We can substance misuse, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is that is your fancy. It doesn't have to be that. People go gamble more. There's fear of losing their house. Some people I know have already lost their jobs. If you lose your jobs, then money is a problem. And if you've got a mortgage, you've got rent to pay, your relationships become a little bit more abusive. They say domestic violence has increased. And I'm not saying this for everybody. I'm saying it's a little bit for somebody. Some people are bored. And there's that isolation. And the social, as somebody just mentioned, not seeing the friends, that social isolation, definitely for sure. And obviously financial losses. So, where are we with all of that? And how can we better cope, with those things? First thing is to sort of recognize, because once we start to get into these states, what happens is we become stressed, and what we say is that stress is what we do when we start to respond to stressors. So all of those things there in our environment that I've mentioned and that some of you guys have mentioned there are stressors. And if we do not have a coping mechanism in place to deal with those, after a period of time, that burden on us just becomes a little bit too much, and we crack, we break, we become depressed, we become isolated, we go on antidepressants and things like that, or we withdraw ourselves. A lot of people, ask people, if you've not seen somebody around for a while, knock on their door, give them a ring. Are you all right? Are you sure you're all right? Give them a reason to engage in a conversation with you. It is so, so important, that we think about other people, not just ourselves, for sure. So remember that environment. We've got the thoughts, we've got the moods, we've got the behavior, and then we've got the physical reaction. So, make a note of for yourself or somebody else. Who else do you know seems to have changed? Withdrawn, particularly. A lot of people I'm feeling withdrawn. Even myself, you'll know that in August, I just said, that's it. I just need to kind of pull back a little bit, because not only work was getting a little bit overwhelmed, but also I think all of this thing that was going around, not able to see people, be with them. And you all know I'm a very tactile people. I love to hug people, and I love to be out engaging with people, on all levels. So it's affected me. And even with me now, even though I'm quite robust, I'm quite lively, I'm quite full of joy, I'm always having a bit of a laugh, even with me, I can tell that with me there's just a little bit of my edge just gone. So that real massive enthusiasm is not quite there, because I'm not free to do everything that I want to do, and that doesn't make Susan a happy person, like with yourself. So what we say is that, it is important that we start to recognize these things in ourselves. And I always say that, for us, mindfulness and meditation can help greatly. I want to just show you this diagram. So when we start to allow all of those things that I've just mentioned, the fear, the stress, the financial worry, the isolation, the depression, when all these start to come, they start to create what we call stress in our life, okay? And when we get stressed, I meant to upload this, but I didn't, so I'm sorry. So this is a little diagram that shows us all of the places in our body that we might start to feel stress and how our body reacts to it and copes to it. So you'll see here, not one of that. So it's our mind, it's our stomach, it's our organs. How many of you, when you've been really stressed, have not been able to eat? I can put my hand up to that. Also, we've got like the nervous system, you know, the musculoskeletal system, the respiratory system, the cardiovascular system, the endocrine system, and the gastro system. They all start to shut down or kind of react in some sort of way, you know, and this can kind of give you headaches, muscle tension and pain, chest pain, even palpitations, fatigue, disinterest in the things that would normally excite you or get you interested, perhaps a lack of sleep, an upset tummy, sleep problems. And then on your mood, what we say here is that you could become anxious, restless, lack of motivation to focus, irritability even, or even anger, out of frustration, sadness and depression. And then the behavior patterns that come in again. So the overeating, undereating, angry outburst, drug, alcohol, substance use, tobacco usage, and social withdrawal. So lots of things that kind of, you know, we can maybe start to recognize. So look for other people, take an interest in somebody else, your neighbor, your friends, your family. Have they all of a sudden stopped eating? You know, have they started eating less? You know, are they overeating? Are they acting out of character? You know, pay attention, because it's up to us to look after each other. You know, if we don't love ourselves, I'm telling you, those people out there that are creating all of this nonsense at the moment, they're not bothered about us. They're not bothered about our well-being. So we have to look out for each other. Hugs to you as well. It's a very difficult year. You're right, Emma, a very difficult year to everybody. So yeah, let's throw that love. Let's throw their mugs out. Let's send it to each other tonight. So what I say to you is, how can mindfulness and meditation affect us? And you all know that, you know, this is massive for me, but through mindfulness and meditation, we can choose to respond to life rather than react. You know, we can learn to cope with those stresses. We can learn to recognize those stresses that are coming up in our life. And then we can learn to, you know, act accordingly. So it's really, really important. In a moment of stress, it's important that we actually stop and pause. And we can do that through meditation and mindfulness. And meditation helps us relax the body and relax the mind. And what's happening when the body and the mind are not relaxed? They're in a state of stress. So if we can learn to relax through meditation and using the breath and being mindful of ourselves and our action and what's going on around us and others, you know, then we can start to kind of see a glimmer of light. Then if we can then tune into how are we feeling, and even if you don't know what that feeling is, just sit with it for a little while, close your eyes and sort of, you know, tune into it. You know, be kind and compassionate with yourself and just allow it to be there. Don't try and change it or push it away. Just stay with it. And then that's when, you know, the magic happens and you start to see things in the reality of how they are, because you are becoming aware of what is going on. Allow yourself to feel everything about it. You know, even if that feeling is unwanted, because that's when we learn, we know it's here. And when we open it and we become aware of it, and then we start accepting that it's here, then it will start to change. You know, it will start to get softer. We will feel compassion about it, so we're not so hard on ourselves. And then we can have that moment of awakening when we can say, actually, that's what's wrong with me. I hadn't recognized that I'm fearful. I hadn't recognized that I'm actually lonely. You know, I keep saying I'm all right, but actually I'm not all right. So ask yourself right now, how are you? And how are those people around you? And how many are suffering, including me and you? So we're saying becoming fully menopausal during lockdown has had a massive impact on my life. Sleepless nights, hot sweats, irritability, lack of drive to do everyday things. I'm absolutely with you. You know, I'm kind of going through that myself, though it seems to have leveled out a little bit, you know, and this is why, even with mindfulness, we also need to have those routines. So before I go into sort of taking that pause into mindfulness, I kind of noted some things to do, and I feel this is very important. Those that know me know I have a structure in my life, but some of the things is certainly gratitude, meditation, exercise, visualizations, and I like to read. So these are the things, love to cook, but these are some of the things that kind of keep me. So it's important that we have some sort of structure or routine within our day. I don't know how many of you do have a structure, especially if you're working from home. You know, you're not even getting out to you know, to go to work or whatever it is you have to do to care for somebody. You know, those people that go out to work and are quite happy and centered and balanced, it may not affect them in the same way. And while it's safe and nice to work from home, it can be lonely. You know, even if you can FaceTime or Teams or whatever it happens to be. So some of the things that I say here, you know, with regard to routine is one, start your day. Get up. Don't lay in bed, especially if you're feeling down and depressed. Get up, out of bed, get dressed. Don't, yeah, if it's a jogger's, a tracksuit day, fine. But if you're working or something and you're contact with, put your makeup on, put your lippy on, you know, put a shirt on if you guys, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Don't stay in your pajamas, because that really deflates your mindset. You know, dress like you're ready for action, even if it's just cleaning the house. Two, you know, set up your daily routine. You know, create some sort of structure. So if you get up, you meditate, you exercise, you then prepare your meal or you get to work, start that routine. Make your tea, make your sandwich like you would if you was going to work. Leave it in the fridge for lunchtime. Create a comfortable place, you know, if you're working from home, to work. And remember your posture, remember what you're doing. And even if you're not working, if you are on furlough, you know, if you sat down watching TV and said, don't just lay or slouch, you know, think about your posture, because when you've got that dignified posture, or you're walking around and you're conducting yourself, you know, you feel more in command, you feel more in charge, as opposed to like this kind of depressed down feeling. So think about that when you're sat there. Keep talking. Keep talking. Do not isolate yourself. You know, keep contact with other people. Phone, Zoom, FaceTime, Skype. There is so many possibilities. And if nothing else, then yeah, somebody's just said make cakes for the elderly. Absolutely. Volunteer for things. If you're in a church or a spiritual group, volunteer. You know, if there's elderly people around you and they need some shopping, ask if you can be that person, can do the shopping for them. Definitely. Diana says, I'm on my own. Excuse me. I'm on my own, and to be honest, there's not enough hours in the day. I'm surrounded by friends who have lost their jobs or closed their businesses. My advice to them is to get out, walk, FaceTime, read, listen to music, exercise, get dressed up, listen to debates on TV, radio shows, learn how to do things that you can't do. Talk. Absolutely wonderful, Dana. I agree with you 100%. You know, there's so many free courses online now, and there's courses that are just £10 and £20 where you can learn new skills during this period. Get involved. Get your books. If you don't like to read, get Audible, you know, on your phone and listen to the books while you're doing housewife. Yeah, talk to somebody and make them laugh, says Emma. Absolutely. Laughter is an amazing remedy for stress. Definitely, you know. Also, if you are working from home, then take regular breaks. Don't just sit there in front of a computer screen or on the phone all of the time, because this can bring your mood down as well. Walk to the kitchen, walk into the garden, make yourself a cup of tea, a glass of water. Yeah, keep moving. Make sure at lunchtime or whatever time you get, or any time during the day, you go out and you have a walk. You know, if you live near the river like I do, walk along the river, or, you know, or into the countryside, then, you know, do that. But keep yourself active. Do some exercise, yoga, stretching. It doesn't have to be, you know, too strenuous. And yeah, Alex, you're right. Live in the moment. So even though we are cocooned, we are suppressed, you know, we can still fight it, and we can still, you know, live in the moment. We can still give ourselves some nice treats. We can pamper ourselves. We can look after ourselves. You know, get yourself a motivational, download books or quotes on your phone and listen to them over and over again. Do your positive affirmations. I'm doing an affirmation on a Monday, and I'm doing the word on Friday, Thursday, Friday. You know, have a look at those. Be kind. Yeah, Emma just mentioned that. You know, be kind. Offer your support to those where you can, and be patient, not only with others, but with yourself as well. And stay healthy, stay hydrated, eat good foods. Don't be allow yourself to go in a downward spiral and you start just eating junk. Healthy food is so much better. If you want to look on my page, I've been putting some great shakes up, juices, and stay positive. Yeah, that's what Alex just said. Live in the moment, stay positive. Definitely stay positive. It is so important. I know it's hard, so I'm not telling you to suck eggs, teaching you to suck eggs. I'm just saying try and do things that make you laugh and dance. Put some music on, from your childhood, some of them great songs, even if it's a tearjerker and you have a really good cry and, you let it all out and then you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off and you go again. It's important. So all of those things. But even in mindfulness and meditation, we stop. We pause. Why do we pause? Because we're getting involved in that downward spiral. All of those fears, hurts, isolation, depression, we're getting involved in it. So we pause. We just stop ourselves for the moment. We go inward. We always go in so we don't go without. Okay? And then we start to just feel, how is it? How is it for you right now? What is going on? Are you at your wit's end? Are you getting out of control? We just take a breath. Breath is free, better than any tablets. We just breathe. And you just feel everything just start to come down and be calm. It's instant. You just feel it straight away. Take a few more breaths and see how you feel. We call that pausing. And it gives you that space to get out of that story and that downward spiral and to get back to being you. We focus on the breath, the in-breath and the out-breath. We focus because this then becomes our anchor out of that craziness and that spiraling and into the present moment. Because when we are spiraling out of control and our mind is racing on everything and we're allowing our emotions and our behaviors to get out of control, we are not in the present moment, and we want to be in the present moment. Yeah, sorry, I'm laughing at Diana's quote. I'll tell you about those in a minute. But yeah, so you want to be in that present moment, and when you're in that present moment, guess what? You're detached from your thoughts. You're not involved in them anymore. You are here, right here with the breath in the present moment. And you know what? You practice that, you've stopped. And in that moment of stopping, you become aware. And then you can set where you are in life, and you can then try at that point to make decisions to change things in a positive way, to be more mindful. We talk about in mindfulness, we talk about being grateful, but what we also talk about is, and those that have worked with me will know, we talk about habit releases and we talk about mindfulness exercises. So a habit releaser, which will be great for you in these times, is if you sit in the same chair, go and sit in another chair, because then you're not an automatic pilot. Your mind's not just going along. We want to create, some sort of activity going on. If you always on a Friday have fish, change it and have something else. If you always drink out of the same cup, change it. You always sleep on the same side of the bed, change it, and your mind starts to work differently. It's not an automatic pilot. So what happens is you are less likely to get derailed, because we don't want you to be derailed at all. We want you to be in the moment. We want you to be in control. And also, and then mindfulness activity is slowing down and making your sandwich mindfully, noting how the butter spreads, how the tomato slices, and then biting into it slowly and tasting all the flavors. And sometimes this will be for the first time. So again, you're focusing on something. Your mind's not involved in the story, you see? So slow down, habit releases and mindfulness exercises. And that can be just creaming your body. And then you think, oh, you know what? I get to my elbow and guess what? Oh, it's all a bit rough there. Let me put a little bit more cream there. So, activities that you can do for sure. And gratitude. We always talk about gratitude. Gratitude is good. So let's see what other people are saying here. Susan, read like you said, laughs, get lots of fresh air. Life is a blessing. Watch Susan's affirmation is positive and is all positive thinking. Thank you, Diana. Negative thoughts can just suddenly appear. Watch for the triggers and breathe. Absolutely, watch for those triggers, but you have to slow down in order to see those triggers, because sometimes you just get so wrapped in it before you know it, you're in the frenzy, and we don't want you to be in the frenzy, not at all. And then another lady says, I just can't seem to get into meditation. I don't seem to be able to shut down and detach. Well, I can't see your name on here because you've not subscribed to this, let StreamYard see your name, but that's fine. But you can contact me privately afterwards and let me know, because I will be doing, and I was meant to start it already and I haven't, so I'm sorry, Warner, I know you wanted that, but I'm going to do a 7-day meditation challenge free of charge, where you'll come on board in a private group and you will join me, and we will go through the pause, the gratitude, the breath, the thoughts, the being still, the getting involved. And we'll go through all of those. I just got a bit delayed with various bits of work that I had to do, but I'll make that my priority tomorrow and the next few days to get a date in the diary, and we will start to do that, maybe not next week, but the week after, for 7 days. So if you are interested in that, then let me know, and I'll work out a suitable time for everybody and a suitable day. So that would be great. But you will learn. Everybody says, I can't meditate. You can. You've just got to be persistent. You know, it's a bit like if you wanted to be the world's best pianist, you couldn't just practice every now and then. You have to do it every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you know. And if anybody's struggling with a meditation, I can send you one. It's not a problem. Just get in touch with me. All right. All that said, I hope that has been useful to you. There is no meditation in the morning tomorrow. I'm going to try and fit it in at another point during the day because I've got an errand to run. But now, thank you for all of your comments. I'm just making sure that I haven't missed any. And thank you all for joining me. And we're going to do a meditation now. So hopefully you'll be able to stay on here. And if you've got any comments that you'd like to put on here afterwards or add to this, or you're watching it on replay, then please let me know. But put those, you know, advice, your guidance, experiences on here, so we know that we're all supporting each other. You're amazing, all of you. So are we going to meditate? Who's staying for my meditation? So we're going to do a meditation that's called I Am Loved. So if you guys that are staying on for the meditation want to get yourself into that comfortable position, just take a drink. You know the drill if you're with me. Feet planted firmly on the ground. And thank you. Feet planted firmly on the ground, and just allowing yourself to get in touch with the breath. The in-breath and the out-breath. Be aware of the rising and the falling of the chest and the belly as the breath moves in and out. And then on the next in-breath, hold your breath for the count of 3. And then release for the count of 3. And allow your body to completely relax. And as you relax more and more, with each easy breath you take, visualize a beautiful tree at the beginning of autumn, a very tall tree with lots of branches. Now then, just imagine that you are one of the leaves on the uppermost branch. And very slowly you detach from the branch and slowly float down towards the ground. The breeze is moving and you're passing on the breeze, slowly, gently, meandering down and down. You feel yourself getting more and more relaxed as you float lower and lower until you gently land on the soft grass and you feel relaxed, supported, warm and calm. As you lay here on the soft grass, just allow yourself to feel the nurturing that comes from the earth. Feel yourself at one with all of nature, knowing that everything you need comes to you when you need it. And breathe. Feel how the gentle rhythm of your heart beats in time with all of nature, and know that you will always be loved and that you will always be supported. Visualize a golden glow within your heart and see it growing and flowing throughout the whole of your body, cleansing and healing your body of all hurts and upsets. And see that flowing now and growing throughout the whole of your body. And notice how wonderfully good it feels to just be here, to just be having this experience right now. Cleansing your body of all the hurts and all the pain and all the upset, anger, and replacing it with unconditional love. Unconditional love from your own heart. Affirm to yourself right now, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. I deserve love and I accept it now. I deserve love and I accept it now. I attract only loving, healthy relationships into my life. All my relationships are healthy, healed and whole. And I now experience an abundance of love within my life. I now experience an abundance of love within my life. And breathe that in. Feel that love. Feel that acceptance, that permission that you've given to yourself to accept. Feel the wonderful sense of belonging that comes from being a part of all that is around you. And by allowing the love to flow from your heart, through your body, and then extend it out to all of those around you, and feel that, and do that now. Extend that love out. Feel that love within your body. And this might be emotional right now, and that's fine. But just hold that love, hold that nurturing, breathe through that as it flows. And more importantly, you're extending and sharing that love of yourself and out to others around you, including me. Know that what you give out returns to you multiplied, and that you will never run out. You are loved, and you are enough. You are whole and complete, and you are here to help yourself and those around you in sharing that love. And breathe. Stay with the breath for a few moments, gently feeling that love. The in-breath and the out-breath. In and out, gently and slowly, knowing that this is your special time, when no one can disturb you or pull on you. This is just what you needed. And breathe. And now that we've been meditating for a little while, allow yourself to bring yourself back to full awareness, increasing the breath. Breathing a little bit more deeply each time, and bringing yourself back to full awareness in your own time. And I hope you've enjoyed that meditation, and I've hoped you've enjoyed tonight's talk. And if I can help anybody in any way, then you know where I am. I'm only at the end of the phone or a text, or however you want to contact me, but you're not alone. Don't have a meltdown and feel that you are. And if you've got any questions for me, either on here or privately, then please do. I thank you for being with me today, and I'll send out that information on the 7-day meditation challenge with me. And I send you lots of love. Know that I love you all to bits. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you very, very soon. Thank you. Thank you, guys. See all your messages. I appreciate it very much, and I appreciate you being here, supporting me and supporting you. Good evening.